got this incident report placing you there.
It was me that put Freddie down, Kane.
You never speak on that shit again, Faye. Not to me, not to nobody.
It's wanted for murder.
Murder? What the fuck is bullshit?
Came into contact with Detective Malcolm Howard, who assisted in securing your release without the filing of any charges. We'd like to know more about that.
Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I feel like I cracked the code. I know how Famous is gonna get out of this jail case in season 4. Now, I know a lot of people assumed or thought he would be that guy at the beginning of OG Power that's in the cell with Kanan, but I talked about that theory for a little, but I just don't think it's him. But why going through the theory of thinking why it's not him, and if it's not, how does he possibly get out this jail case? I was able to come up with it based off rewatching the season 3 ending of Raising Kanan. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain and break everything down in this video, but I don't think he's going to jail for life. I do think he will eventually die, but that could be his own video on its own. We're going to touch on it a little within this video, but we're more so going to focus on how he beats this case or gets let off. As usual, you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let's go ahead and dive right into it. Oh, but one more thing. I'm about to jump into BMF now. I think my next video after this one should be the season 3 trailer breakdown because I haven't done that yet. Be on the lookout for that. So to get into my theory of what I expect to take place in season 4 is I expect Rock and Kanan to let Famous bury Detective Howard. I'm gonna point out all the details of why. Now, of course, I played in the intro and we saw, I'll play it again here, but they wanted information about Howard getting Famous out of the holding cell back in season 2 of Raising Kanan.
Came into contact with Detective Malcolm Howard, who assisted in securing your release without the filing of any charges. We'd like to know more about that.
What they're referencing is in season 2, Freddie went up and robbed Kanan and Famous, took the bag with Rock's money and drugs, and then also took Famous's chain. So they had to go get the shit back, and Kanan went and beat the shit out Freddie, and when they were leaving, police came, pulled up on them. Kanan got away, but of course Famous got caught and he was put in a holding cell. Rock didn't want to help Kanan get him out of jail, so Kanan of course went to his dad Howard. Him being a cop, he was easily able to do it. So that's what they was referencing right here. And they also mentioned it in 2 scenes within season 3 when Famous first got arrested, and they said they had something that put him at the site that Freddie was killed days prior.
Me, how we got this incident report placing you there.
And he also told his mom that when they were questioning them when he got picked up in the finale.
But your son was detained on another matter outside the location where this murder occurred.
That was a different day and time. Freddie was still alive then.
So they was telling him if he could give them information on Howard, then of course they'll let him go. They'll say self-defense. Basically, he could walk right out. But at that point, Howard wasn't dead and he couldn't reveal that Howard was Kanan's dad or any of that information. He didn't want to snitch. So my boy was smart. He asked for a lawyer. So as we could see, they were more focused on Howard than Famous. But now we saw at the end of season 3, Rock smoked Howard. She got him up out of here, shot him dead in his head. And that's because he was talking about over the course of the entire season trying to let Marvin take the fall, and she kept telling him, my big brother is not taking the fall for any of this. It's not happening. But this dumbass nigga was just not listening. He was like, fucking Marvin gotta go down, and she saw a perfect opportunity to take him out. Now with him being dead, there's no way they could prove the connection between him and Marvin as well as to everyone else. But now there's even more questions to be asked of how is he dead in this warehouse with Ronnie and 2 other goons. And they could use this to their advantage with Famous. already being asked questions about Howard. Kanan kind of owes my dog one, if we're being honest. He been fucking over our boy this entire season. He could tell him, hey, go ahead, serve up Howard, connect him to Ronnie and Ronnie only, and get the feds off the back of course, Rock and Marvin, and all will be good. Steer them in a whole nother direction, and this could save Famous as well. If he signs a deal, says he gets immunity, it goes down as self-defense, and then gives them the information connecting Howard to Ronnie. Now, for my people who do think it is him in the cell, the only way I could possibly believe this is him if they connected and go get the witness that heard the whole thing go down in season 2, because I initially thought he was going to be the one to identify Famous once Famous released the song 411 talking about the killing of Freddy, and he was able to match the name Famous with the guy he saw prior. Because remember earlier when I mentioned that Kanan beat the fuck out Freddy, when that took place, the neighbor came out his apartment and saw what's going down, and Kanan and Famous ran. And after this happened, when Famous went to go kill Freddy said the name and said, I know it's you, Famous. So I thought this neighbor was gonna come back around. He was gonna be the one to identify Famous and everything, and then maybe he would go to jail for life. But that's not what happened. His mom just turned in a gun. It felt a little rushed. They just took him to jail. So I'm like, well, I guess that theory is wrong. Unless they bring him back in season 4 and he says, yes, this is the guy. I saw him with Freddy prior, and then I heard the name Famous, and they found out the name Famous, the alias connect back to him, then yeah, it's over for our boy Sean, and I'll just listen to you guys and say this is the nigga he is from OG Power. But until then, I choose to believe Famous isn't this nigga. Another reason this makes more sense to me than him being a person in the prison with Kanan in OG Power is because, like I said in the intro, I expect Famous to die at some point in raising Kanan. Now, we've all pointed out and mentioned, of course, Kanan's son in the OG Power was named Sean, and he named him after his best friend Famous. So people have been speculating since season 1 of Raising Kanan that something tragic was gonna happen to Sean, and I still believe that's more than likely what's gonna take place in the long run. I think this is a way they could use him to get everyone from out of trouble going into season 4 so they can move on to other storylines. But then him and Kanan, I think they're gonna rekindle their bond and relationship, because Kanan been fucking over him over the course of this entire season. Like I said, even though Famous been a good friend, been watching his back, told him Ronnie shot at Rock and everything like that. So I think they'll get back cool, and that makes more sense in my opinion, because why would he name his son after a snitch or somebody he ain't fuck with no more, had no love for? He loses him in a horrible way, and when he has his son, he wants to remember Famous, so of course he names him Sean. Going this way, I'm suggesting now, saves them from having to explain away a whole plot hole, because people are gonna be like, okay, if it was Famous in jail, why was it never mentioned in OG Power? And of course people are gonna say it's because Raising Kanan as a show wasn't thought about at the time OG Power was airing, which is a fact. But why create plot holes when you don't have to? There are already people who trying to connect the dots between OG Power and this one, so you don't have to make it harder than it already is, because the show wasn't thought about. Like I said, if they go in this direction of Sean still dying, it'll make sense why he isn't mentioned much in Power, but he still named his son after him. That's how we'll remember him. It just all leads them into going into this direction if they want to make the story make the most sense to the original Power. Another weird thing that could happen that I'm just gonna mention real quick, I'm not too sure on, but I saw somebody mention it in my comments saying, what if Unique takes Ronnie's body? Of course, we saw Unique pop up at the end of the season. We don't know what happened, where he's been, or what he's doing. They mentioned he could possibly move Ronnie's body, leading Rock and the rest of them to think Ronnie is possibly still alive, but it really is Unique. That would be cool and interesting, and it could change a lot of this shit I said in this video if they don't have no one else to blame it on, but we're just gonna have to wait and see for that theory. Overall, that's it for this video. You guys can leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. What do you think happens to Famous in this police case? If do you believe that he's the guy in OG Power, he's going to jail for life? Let me know down below. If you don't, let me know how you suspect or expect him to get out this situation and what ultimately happens to him by the end of raising Kanan. Like I said, I believe he's gonna die. I just think that makes the most sense when thinking about OG Power. As usual though, you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe. Once again, I told you guys BMF is next. Let me know what you want to see about that. But I'm out.